shit. Spider-Man. Old ass MCU logo. Marvel logo. Better times for Marvel. Beanox. What the fuck did they make? Whoa. Looks pretty cool. Looks like that weird animated series they had on MTV for a little bit. Oh shit. $20.99. I always loved that outfit, dude.
Hey there, true believers. Watch
Whoa,
as
Stan.
once again frightening forces are at work in our world, ready to wreak havoc with our very existence. Who or what prowls the halls of Empire State University after dark? None other than the
Mysterio.
master of illusion himself, the menacing Mysterio.
Stan was a shady thief, but he's like the ultimate
Selling you
Marvel
on the
hype man.
market is gonna make me a mint.
Good, you can use a mint. Ugh, I can smell your breath from here.
Spider-Man?
Wait, how would you eat a mint through that
Where's
fishbowl?
his head? It's a weird fishbowl.
Nice! Don't get me wrong, your illusions are nifty and all, but if you ask me, they could use a little more kick.
Kick.
Nah, souvenirs are available in the gift shop.
Stop it! Cease your incessant
Sounds like
prattling!
Sonic or something.
Present is the best kind of prattling.
He's got misses.
What? What's this?
Hey, Bubblehead, think fast! Whoa, what the heck was that? Okay, can somebody tell me what's going on here?
Spider-Man.
Oh shit, Madam Web.
Madam Web? As if this night wasn't strange enough already.
The Tablet of Order and Chaos is the most powerful of all the mystic
Old lady.
artifacts in the world, and you shattered it.
Yeah, sorry about that. Guess they don't make tablets like they used to, huh?
The pieces are now fragmented across other dimensions.
That shade of red, that's kind of what she
Dimensions
has in the
that are
movie.
strange reflections of our own. A past unlike ours. A present day out of sync. And a distant future which may or may not come to pass.
Is that a cartoon pig?
Focus. I require your help.
Focus.
Yours and the help of these three other Spider-Men. The heroes into whose realities
other
the
Spider-Man.
tablet fragments
Whoa,
fell.
whoa, slow down. Other realities? Other me's?
Yes, I have explained our dire situation to them. They will be your allies in this quest.
But I'm the
In the
most
movie,
charming,
she's got
right?
like big,
You must
like
gather all the pieces
Bret
of the
Hart
tablet
glasses.
before they
I
fall
kinda like
into the
that
wrong
better.
hands, or our reality, as well as theirs, will be utterly destroyed.
Yeah, right.
why does
No
it cover up her
pressure.
nose? She don't want to smell either. Maybe that'll enhance her powers. I had that first issue of Spider-Man 2099. It's like a big, thick issue. I didn't even know he's Mexican or whatever. That shit didn't get me off as a kid. But I guess it does now. I don't know. See, I wouldn't say people are being like unfairly hard on the movie. I just think they're like not pointing out anything that's like actually good about it or comic accurate, which there actually is a lot to it, kind of. It's fine. To me, like, I feel like these Sony movies were like
Hey
more.
there, true believers. Watch as one.
There's like more emphasis
Let's
on
get
them
started.
before they
These
had the
neighborhoods aren't
deal
gonna
with
friendly
Marvel
themselves.
and
If you
Disney.
follow my instructions, I will assist you in finding a fragment now.
Because they're
Who am I
trying to like
refuse a lovely lady?
make
Lead on,
their
MW.
own universe and shit.
All right. You will need to reach that ledge to begin your quest.
Wait, this quest involves jumping?
It's got a double jump. Nice.
You will need to get higher than that.
Keep your cloak on, M-dubs. That was...
Oh, we in there. Run
And
over
now,
the pigeons.
scale the wall with your unique adhesive abilities.
I believe the technical term is stickum powers. Yup, I'm
Adhesive.
crawling up a wall.
So yeah, Madam Web, written by Matt Sazama and Burke Sharpless, who
I
wrote
am augmenting your spider
Dracula
sense.
Untold,
Now,
which is I
instead
actually
of
really
just
like that movie.
detecting danger, you have the added abilities of seeing through objects,
And,
locating enemies, and discerning structural
Gods of Egypt,
weaknesses in your environment.
which is also another movie that like people always hated, but I kind of liked it when I watched it.
I will bestow it upon the other Spider-Men as well.
It's like enjoyable, you know, garbage or whatever. Nah, I like Gods of Egypt, but yeah, like I said, they're kind of similar. Like weird dialogue, weird performances. Oh, activate spider sense.
Don't let weak structures or other obstacles block your path. Use your webbing to pull that wall down.
Cock block your path.
And that's called breaking and entering.
Yeah, the rock went right through.
Hey, look what I found.
Excellent work. A job well begun is half done. Now to another Spider-Man, and to bestow a different gift upon him.
Oh yeah, but what I was saying about
The black suit.
the Madam Web
What am I
movie
doing
in
in the
general
black
is
suit?
like
I hate this thing.
Stay calm, young Peter.
I don't think it's
This
stupid to
suit
make
has
a
extra abilities
movie
you will need in your quest.
out of like a
Like
weird
what, trying to take
character
over my
like
body?
Madam Web,
I
but
said
like
stay calm. My psychic powers will keep it
as long as they had
from
like
Yeah, well, I
had a plan to like have him interact with Spider-Man at
Now
one
let's
point,
retrieve the next fragment.
that way it
Spitzbolt.
would like make
you
it all
just
worth
say
it.
First,
But I don't know
your
what they were,
ability to
like,
web zip. You
planning
can
with these
travel quickly
movies,
from
like,
perch point to perch point.
if they were ever
Try it
actually
now.
gonna combine them or some shit, crossover.
Occasionally, in order to reach distant perch points, you will have to jump towards
What?
them in webs of emitting.
Talk about a leap of faith.
Tap to web zip. Press A for a dash jump.
And you can run across narrow walkways such as this one without fear of falling, due to your natural agility
Fear of
and
falling.
powers of adhesion.
They're called stickum powers. Did one of the other me's make that joke already?
Stick 'em.
Yes,
Ha, ha, ha,
and it was
stick 'em.
no funnier then.
Shh.
The fragment is at the end of the corridor. Can you swing across to it?
Can I? Lady, it's my trademark.
Spider ass. It makes me think of that scene in Dumb and Dumber, where he's like, "Look on the buns on that," Jeff Daniels, and Jim Carrey's like, "Yeah, must work out." Well, you automatically like. What the fuck? Website.
I gotta admit, this suit does
Oh.
feel barely under control. And I feel stronger, faster. Maybe this will work out after all. Fingers crossed.
Get over it. interesting. We're getting used to.
They're all gonna be this easy to find, right?
No. But now I must turn my consciousness to the future and to
Damn, this
Miguel
looks pretty cool.
O'Hara, Spider-Man of the year 2099.
That's me, ready to save the universe and looking good while doing it.
Why does he sound
The
stupid?
next fragment is close. Just ahead, in fact.
Fucked it up.
I'm on it. Gotta watch out, though. This area is property of the Alchemax Corporation, and that
That is
means the
Mexican.
public eye will be
The fuck?
everywhere.
And what, pray tell, is a public eye?
Not a what, a who. The police force owned by Alchemax, and I'm not sure which is more important.
Public eye, Holmes. Yeah, the whole game should have looked like this. It's pretty sick. Coruscant. um, yeah, like I said, it would have just been cool if they'd have had some kind of plan for Madam Web to interact with Spider-Man at one point. Oh yeah, I was remembering my idea for like, instead of like even using Spider-Man, they should have just have Tom Hardy like go on a like intergalactic mission from Madam Web, like go back to the Venom homeworld. And he has to fight like the Symbiote King or some shit.
Many
That'd be pretty
enemies
sick.
will try to stop
For
you
Venom
from
3.
collecting fragments. You must defeat them in combat.
Tell me about it. I tried to defeat him in cards once. Didn't go so good.
God,
This one looks easy. Try a light attack.
He's over there! There!
Spider attack.
Here comes another. Perhaps something stronger.
Battle tip's coming, lady. It's like having Sun Tzu as a life coach. Freeze!
Better than Spider-Man 2.
Impressive. With your incredible strength, you can probably even knock
shit.
enemies into the air.
Like Dante.
Want to see? Stop, Spider-Man!
You must never miss an opportunity to subdue an enemy, even in the air. Try to hit him while he's airborne. Perform a combo.
Now this is just overkill. You're not getting
For my combo.
cool.
Now try to grab your enemy.
Oh, dive kick.
Now try to grab your enemy.
Come here, you. Oh no, I didn't mean to make him disappear.
You didn't. I have saved him from peril and transported him to safety, thanks to a dimensional rift caused by the tablet. But please, try not to be so cavalier next time.
Good to know you
Why'd
got my
she
back.
save him?
Guess I'll just worry about my front.
Beware, Spider-Man. Here come the last three. Take them out howsoever you use. And we hate you.
You are one bloodthirsty old shit. I like it.
Bloodthirsty Gil. Fast attacks. And yeah, it was directed by S.J. Clarkson. SJW. Clarkson.
That was a good warm-up.
She
So
did like
when
a
do I
lot
get
of
real
British
challenge?
television.
I fear it will be
But I guess
sooner
they
than
hired
you
her
think.
'cause she worked
and
on,
finally, I turn my
Jessica
attention from the
Jones
future to a
and
world
Defenders.
set in the past.
Which I've never watched Defenders. I watched a little bit of Jessica Jones. It was alright.
Say your prayers, punks. Here comes the Spider-Man. What do we got here?
But honestly, I think the
Looks like
direction
criminal
of the film
forces in
is
this
like
world have already found one
the
of the
least of its
fragments.
problems.
They've taken over the station.
And this used to be
Mostly
such a
the
nice
script
place.
is
Use the shadows
Boring.
to your advantage.
well, Nicolas Cage.
See if you can subdue these opponents silently.
I
with
heard they're trying to
stealth
get him to do
attacks.
like a
You read my
live-action
mind,
movie.
sister.
Yes, that's what I do.
This is Batman, Predator mode. Stealth takedown.
Those typewriters they're slinging are no joke. Won't last long if they open up on me.
Agreed. If an enemy spots you,
Oh, it is
it is
Batman.
imperative to defeat him quickly or retreat, either into the shadows or high above. I have gifted you with new web-swinging powers. They will be useful in
Yeah,
this
thanks a lot,
respect.
Dakota Johnson.
I like this.
Madam
Thanks for
Web.
the enhanced powers, lady. The webs normally just kind of splatter everywhere.
Use your spider sense.
I didn't know Dakota Johnson was a Nepo baby.
There, through that
Don
gate.
Johnson and Melanie Griffith. So that explains the acting. Whoa. Oh shit. What do those yellow dots mean? That's where I swing to. Oh shit.
Another opportunity for a stealth attack.
Dude, I'm trying to...
Easy.
Oh shit. Dude, get up high. Oh, don't do that. I can't get him from here. Oh, there's a dude in there. How do you just drop down? Oh, here we go.
Lights out.
Just one more dude.
Oh, now we're talking. This new wall crawling ability will help me get the drop on these bozos.
Whoa. How do you get down there?
The fragment is close. I feel its presence.
Get off the
May I
fucking wall.
suggest a stealth attack on this dirty louse?
Lady, you're all right. Sorry, you're gonna miss your train.
So yeah. Oh yeah, so the movie starts out in like a flashback to, it's 1973. And it's like out in the rainforest or whatever. And there's a
And that's the end of that.
chick, Madam Web's mom. She's
No,
like taking
Spidey,
pictures
it's
of
just the
spiders and
beginning.
shit.
Across many dimensions, these four fearless
she
Spider-Men,
has this dude
in
with
all
her.
their various incarnations, must fight to reassemble
He looks
the
like a
tablet of order and chaos.
bootleg,
Not just for the sake of their
what's his
own
name
worlds,
from,
but
Star
for the
Wars?
fate of every world
Adam
in
Driver.
every dimension. Good luck,
But he has like the
web-slingers.
weirdest performance
We're all
because like,
counting on you.
You've recovered
okay, I
the
looked it
first
up.
quarter
He's
of the
French.
tablet. Excellent.
I've
And,
always
like,
been good at scavenger hunts.
His
Like
dialogue,
moths
like,
to a
it
flame,
all sounds dope
those with
by like
evil
someone
hearts
else.
will be drawn
He's got
to
like
the
a weird
unleashed power of the
cadence to
tablet,
his voice.
gaining new and frightening
Oh.
powers. So far, you have been fortunate that none of them have fallen into enemy hands.
Why'd you have to go and say that?
Yeah, he's like,
Man, what a
I agreed
jinx.
to provide security because I thought you were close to the spider. He just has like a weird voice, and they talk about
Useless hunk of nothing.
there's like a local legend of spider people, Los Arañas, Las Arañas, and she's like, I don't believe in myths or whatever,
Feels like no more parlor tricks and sleight of
and
hand. Mysterio is now
then
the
it shows
master
like
of
later on
real
she finds.
magic.
Oh yeah, he's like snooping through her shit, like trying to steal her research. And she comes back and she found the spider. It's like a big ass red spider and shit. And they're like, oh well. And he comes out and he like pulls a gun on her. And they kind of struggle with the gun, like and she gets shot. So it's like a. That's how people in the Parker family die. Like Uncle Ben just struggling for the gun. Sure, no. Level select. Oh. Damn, she looks cool. Gilf. Dakota Johnson, she's not bad. I've never seen 50 Shades, but there's like some scenes where she's in the cab where she's got like a little double chin. She look like she'd be hot. She gained some weight. Who's this guy? Oh, is that Mysterio? Whoa, Stark. Stark Tech. Oh yeah, when she was like searching for the spiders, she has like she's like pregnant. She has like a pregnancy pain, and she's like, "Oh, this baby's trying to stop me,
What do you know?
but I'm not gonna
Swing
let it."
around long enough, and my new upgraded spider
So I
sense
guess
points
they're
me
like
towards a fragment.
trying to portray
Definitely
her as
sensing
like
something from inside the
a bad mother.
jungle room.
Because that's like a running thing in the
Hey,
movie
look
where
at that.
like
If it isn't Mr. Tablet Fragment,
Madam
right
Web
there,
thinks
waiting
that
for me to grab
she
it,
hated her
which can only mean one
her
thing.
whole life.
It's trap.
Oh, is this Craven's house?
That wasn't so bad, actually. Oh, come on!
I'm actually looking forward to a Craven movie.
Say your first
Uh,
strike. For when you awake, we begin the hunt.
Cut the spider. But anyway, so yeah, the dude Ezekiel.
Where's he taking me this time? What horrible death trap.
Later on, there's like a
Hey, this is a pretty nice view.
not a
actually.
flashback, but like a vision that he has where he like gets killed, and he's got like gray hair and shit. And he kind of the picture I looked on Wikipedia, it looks like fairly comic accurate. I think the picture that's on Wikipedia, J. Scott Campbell drew it. It kind of looks like a little Solomon Grundy.
Okay, let's see where this goes.
Well, but in the comics, I guess he was known for like having this theory about Spider-Man that he's like a totem or whatever, and then like the spider chose him. Basically, it wasn't like the radioactivity, or it wasn't by chance or whatever. And like the reason he has animal or villains that are like based on animals is they sense that Spider-Man's a real totem, and their totems are they're like wannabe totems or whatever. I don't know, it's weird. It's kind of interesting, I guess. But anyway, so yeah, the Ezekiel dude takes the spider and runs off, and the Los Arañas people jump in. They kind of look like little Carnages. They have like red outfits with like black like overwebbing design on it.
Welcome, Spider-Man.
What?
Welcome to the jungle.
Welcome to the jungle.
It holds great power, no? I could use it to crush you, like a bug.
That wouldn't be very
crash you.
sporting of you, would it?
Ah, you speak a great truth. Let this be your prize, then. If you can survive my gauntlet, your powers against my skills, your
And yeah, there's one main Arañas dude, and he like grabs Madam Web's mom and takes her to this like little ceremonial pool or whatever, and she gives birth. And it was funny because in the Angry Joe review I watched before I'd seen the movie, and he's saying how like the Arañas dude has her baby, Madam Web, and he's like holding it here, and she's like kind of reaching out trying to grab it, and he won't give it to her. He's like holding it back. It kind of, I think it looked more like that the second time I watched it, but she just reaches out for a second before dying. But yeah, there is a shot of like the dude like just holding the baby and not like bringing it like a little bit closer. Just funny. You've just completed your first challenge. Rewards you with Spider Essence. A Web of Destiny. Well, hey, this is kind of like the movie. She like, sometimes Madam Web goes in the water, and she's in like this water web jizz dimension. That's how she like sees the future and shit. Oversized door. Hit 10 hunters. Oh, these are the challenges. Where are my upgrades? Spider tag. What? Oh, here we go. Health +1. Rage mode. Whoa. Accelerated vision. Track challenge. So you don't control what you upgrade, you just upgrade by doing shit, I guess. Oversized door complete. Whoa, it's like King Kong. That's cool.
Come, my friend. Do not delay.
Pursue
The
Kraven.
grim hunt begins.
Hurry! Hurry!
So you want me to run through the jungle? Should I not look back?
Do not mock me, Spider-Man.
Wow, you're awfully touchy for a guy who wears leopard print pants. Keep your tights on, I'm coming.
Cool sound effect. Oh yeah, I forgot when they were struggling. Ezekiel's like justification is like, I grew up poor, I want not to be poor again. So I guess he just wants to be rich. And the main Aranius guy tells the mom before she dies. Oh yeah, he like puts a spider on her to like bite the mom. And it like gets passed through, I guess. And she's like, one day your daughter will come back and I will tell her her destiny. Her density. Is that the entrance? Oh yeah, that's where it came from.
Come, come! We have only scratched
Oh,
the
shit.
surface.
Seeing you so excited is creeping me out.
And then yeah, then it cuts to not present day for the movie.
I'm
It's
Spider-Man. That's what I do.
2003
Break
on the
pops.
timeline. And like, I know a lot of people were criticizing it because there was like, I guess no thought towards Spider-Man's age. Because it's 2003, so it doesn't, I guess it doesn't line up with any of the current
There
Spider-Mans.
is much for you to experience here. Traps.
And the director came out and said that it was
Hand-to-hand
purely just
How
because
cute! You put together
she
your own boy
grew
band.
up in the
My
early
disciples.
2000s,
They've come to study
so
at
she
the
chose
foot of the
2003.
to learn the art of
But
the
to me, like, okay, 2003,
greatest hunter of all.
you figure
And the most modest.
20 years later is like, or 21 years later would be now.
Boy band.
So that's like
Remember
feasible
what the
Spider-Man age
strike hard,
for
strike
this
fast,
movie.
and show no mercy.
Because he actually
let's
gets,
see if you've got
he's
what it
born in this movie. It's a Spider-Man movie. Yeah, to me, the way I look at it, like they're too attached to these actors. Just cast another fucking Spider-Man, dude. There's no movie stars anymore. So they should be making more Spider-Man movies.
Ooh, is this a private fight, or can I join you?
Oh, defensive
Anybody
stance.
else?
Why do I
See ya.
need defense? They can't hit me. Well, a drunken master. That's cool. So yeah, like I said, it cuts to 2003, and Madam Web's in an ambulance, driving crazy and shit. And there's like a Blockbuster video in the background to hammer it home. I wonder if that's an homage to Captain Marvel. This movie has to be better than Marvel's. I haven't seen it, but I just feel it must be. Oh, he's that way. What do you think?
It seems
What is
my
that?
men have not proved much of a challenge for you.
Are you kidding? Those guys were brutal. I barely survived.
Really?
Nah, I crazy.
I missed one. Oh, there's one over there. Fucking swing, dude.
Next.
It's gotta be better than Spider-Man 2. Oh shit.
Anybody else?
Oh, that was cool. You completed enough challenges to unlock upgrades. Oh, okay. Grab uppercut. Whoa. Web shots. Nice, give me that shit. Web ball. I'm trying to do it. Grabbing objects. Oh, shoot the balls. I thought it said it'd be. Yeah, so she's driving crazy, and Ben Parker's in the background. And oh shit. So yeah, she's driving crazy, and Uncle Ben's in the back, played by Adam Scott, the immortal Derek from Step Brothers. Bow, bow, I'm Derek, and I can sing high like this. And I can sing. I love that. He's also in Piranha, which is pretty good. I didn't realize he's 50, dude. That's crazy. And he's supposed to be like a bachelor in the movie. Supposed bachelor. I'll get to that. But I feel like he's like the feminist whipping boy of the movie. Because immediately, like, he's in the back with the patient and he's like, I lost her pulse or whatever. And Madam Web's like, what are you doing back there? And like her fucking sleepy acting style. And at one point he talks about like how he was in the army and how like her
Active
driving.
evasion is crucial
Oh,
when
shit.
being attacked. Roll out of the way.
What?
Here's some for you.
Oh. How do I shoot the fucking webs? Crawling
Got your
in.
nose. Say uncle. That looked like it hurt.
Oh yeah, and then after he talks about losing the pulse and shit, she says something. It's hard to tell what she said. She's like, "I'm not going room temp on my watch," or not letting the body go room temp or whatever. I don't know. Oh yeah, he says he's been in the army because of. It reminds him of being in the army because of how like shitty she's driving. It's like he was being shot at, and she's like, "Oh wait, you never been shot at in Queens?" So I guess it's like a future reference to his death. And then yeah, at one point she's like driving crazy still, and she almost runs over this black girl on a skateboard, and she like the girl like flips her off and walks away, and the Madam Web's like, shouldn't you be in school? She's like, kids these days. I guess she's trying to act old. She's supposed to be like in her 30s. See, like I said, I think the timelines would make sense. Present day, if he's like 21, then she would be like in her 50s. So it'd be cool to like I said, have her give him missions and shit. She could be like the Doctor Strange of the Sony universe. And then, yeah, after they get to the hospital, Uncle Ben's like trying to invite her to a baby shower, to his sister-in-law's baby shower, which is like, I don't know, seems sus. And then like this family comes, because the doctor tells them that they saved the patient, and then like the family of the patient comes out, and it's like this white dude and this nerdy looking girl and this little Asian kid, and the little kid like tries to give her a picture and she doesn't want to take it. and then at one point you see like the nurse asked the dad to like come visit his wife, I guess, or whatever. And for some reason he can't bring the daughter along. It's like only immediate family, so like I guess the stepdaughter, his daughter's not allowed in there. So she's like, or he's like, you know, why don't you just hang back while the real family goes in, which I thought was fucked up. And she like makes eye contact with Madam Web. And she's like, what do I do with this picture? And he's like, just put it in your pocket and throw it away later. Even though the jokes aren't funny, he at least has good comedy timing. She's bad. She tries to tell a joke where she's like, I can't even fold a picture. It's like cardboard. Like, what the fuck, dude? And then there's like another scene where they're talking, her and Ben, and she's like giving him excuses why she won't go to the baby shower. She might like adopt a dog or whatever and return the favor, telling everyone that she was adopted. And he's like, it did make me laugh the first time. She says, oh, he's like, I bet you were a model foster child or whatever. Or no, he says, I bet you were like a handful of a foster kid or whatever. And she's like, no, I was a model kid. I peed outside and everything. Which made me laugh the first time. And there's an awkward part where Ben says he met a girl and he smiles, but he doesn't like say anything about it. So it like kind of adds to my theory that like he was like secretly fucking Mary Parker the whole time. The evidence will show. So yeah, then Madam Web, she walks home and she's got like this red jacket because all the characters wear like their colors. The clothes are the colors of their like superhero outfits. So she's always wearing dark red, and she looks like Claire Redfield, dude. I was like, oh damn. And she goes in her building and like she sees the landlord talking to this little Mexican girl, and she's like, "I'll get you to your aunt." He's like hassling her. The guy's hassling her. He wants to talk to her dad, and she's like giving excuses or whatever. And then yeah, Madam Web goes home, and of course she's a cat lady. And oh dude, this had me laughing so hard because she sits down, right, feeds her cat some milk, and she looks at the picture the little boy gave her. And the picture says "my family," and it's a picture he drew of his family, and the fucking stepsister is not on the picture, dude. It's just the mom, dad, and kid. And I was like, damn, dude. Even he hates her. It's fucking brutal, dude. Fucking little kid. And then yeah, she like goes to her room and like she has like a briefcase, kind of like an Amazing Spider-Man actually, where she has like all the stuff of like pictures of her mom and shit. And she's looking at the spider research, and she closes it and she's like, oh, I hope it was worth it, Mom. Because, you know, she died because there was no hospitals in the forest, I guess. In her mind. And then yeah, there's like a bridge, quote unquote, action scene, which is in a lot of Spider-Man movies. There's always like something going on a bridge, and like there's like a big chunk. Somehow these people like almost broke off side of the bridge, and they're like teetering. Madam Web and Ben come and they save these people, and but she like gets caught in the car and falls in the ocean. I mean, falls in the. Okay. And so yeah, they gotta come save these people, and they like pull one guy out, and Madam Web gets like stuck in the car, and it like falls into the river or whatever. And when she hits the water, it turns into the like water, a web jizz dimension. And it's like her, and it's like CG, and she's like seeing these like elements of the whole movie basically that are like, you know, appearing in the water and shit, and around these like strands of webs. And then yeah, Ben like pulls her out of the water, and he's like trying to like take her blood pressure or whatever, and then the scene like repeats like 2 or 3 times, and she's like keeps asking her the same question, and I don't know, I guess it's supposed to like be mysterious or freak you out. It just kind of like wastes time a little bit. And she's like, I just want to go home and watch Idol. I guess American Idol. Like, she's so lame, dude. So yeah, then it shows a scene of like Sims, and he's like going to the opera, and he like sits next to this gilf or whatever. It's weird. He like flirts with her by like offering her a program or something. I don't know. But he like takes her home and fucks her. And then his pillow talk is him talking about how like, I have these nightmares of these girls murdering me. And she's like humoring him, I guess, like, oh wow, that's interesting. But he like, apparently she works for the NSA, and she has like some kind of password he needs, and he like touches her and like starts to poison her. He's like, give me the password and I'll give you the antidote. But yeah, it's cool because when he has the nightmare, it like actually shows the 3 girls in their costumes like fighting him. And like I said, they're actually pretty comic accurate from what I've seen. Especially like I talked about in the trailer reaction. I always loved that Jessica Carpenter, or it's Jessica Drew and Julia Carpenter. They don't have that Spider-Woman, but the Spider-Woman design with the black and white, it's pretty accurate, except her eyes aren't covered up, which kind of sucks. And actually the powers are pretty accurate too. She's got like the psi webs, and what's her face? Anya Corazon, she like throws shit, and she has like big goggles around her eyes, which the comics has. And Martha, Maddie Frank. I don't know, Maddie, it kind of sounds like a black girl's name, so like I think it makes sense that they race swapped it. But like the outfit, it is basically like the Iron Spider look. And it's like red and blue. But like her origin in the comic is crazy. And it kind of explains why I dislike the character in this movie. So I'll get to that later, but it sort of made sense. So yeah, and then it goes to the Mary Parker baby shower scene, and Madam Web shows up, and she's like criticizing Mike Epps' cooking because he's like pressing the burgers. She wants all the fucking grease in there. And Mike Epps, of course, from Next Friday. Which I remember I saw that in the theaters, and it took me a while to warm up to him. Because I was like, oh, he's like a bootleg Chris Tucker. He is, but, you know. Next Friday's actually pretty good. And also LJ, of course. I think that's his name. In Resident Evil Apocalypse. My favorite Resident Evil movie. And then yeah, the next scene's important. She like goes into the baby shower, and Emma Roberts is Mary Parker, who like, you know, she gets hotter with age, I think. She was in Scream 4, and I don't know what else. But she's always pretty good. And it's cool that she's like... it's cool that she's Mary Parker. So there's a part where like she's introducing herself, right? And then like one of the guests, like this black lady... because Mary's like, oh, it's awesome having Ben around since Richard's gone. And the lady's like... yeah, he's gone again. Where he's at this time? And she's like, oh, I don't know, Shanghai, fucking Taiwan. I can't keep up. It's like, what the fuck, dude? Why wouldn't she know like where her husband is? There's only two explanations. One is like he's like they're trying to imply that he like messes around on her and some shit. And or the second is like it's actually comic accurate and he's like in the CIA. And I actually looked it up, so they're like both in the CIA, and that's how they meet. And I guess it could make sense, right? Because she'd be like on maternity leave and putting up this front that she's just this regular housewife. But what's cool is that like in the comics, apparently like the two of them have like a mission where they have to save somebody from Baron von Strucker, and it's fucking Wolverine. And she's like, I guess pregnant, and like apparently Wolverine's like the first person to congratulate the both of them that Peter's coming. So those are the only two explanations, is that it was like actually comic accurate and they're supposed to be shady on purpose. But I just think he was fucking around. And then yeah, all the women go to like the other room and they play this stupid game where they have to like put down their favorite memory of their mom, and then like one of them's blank, and like Emma Roberts calls her out. Is like, who's this blank one? And she has to be like me, and then the black lady, the nosy black lady, she's like, surely you have one memory of your mother. And then she has to explain how like she died in childbirth and shit. And it's fucking awkward. And then she has to like be like, oh, but you know, death in childbirth is rare and shit. And it's like, what the fuck, dude? They're like infringing on her privacy, and then it ends up getting turned around and she's like trying not to offend them. And it's also like another scene where like shit repeats on her, like this balloon pops or whatever. But anyway, she's like, Mary Parker's about to say, she wants everyone to guess what the name of the baby is, and she's about to say Peter. Oh yeah, because she asked Madam Web like what the name will be, and she's like, and she looks outside and she says Ben, which is also weird because it's like, why would she say that? Maybe in her subconscious they knew they were fucking on the side. And then yeah, the balloon pops, and then Ben actually comes in and saves her, thankfully, from the awkward situation. And then yeah, there's like a sequence where like shit goes down and they have to save some people. It's like the kind of a Final Destination sequence where like she sees Mike Epps is there. He's like the fire chief or whatever the fuck. And she like sees him dying, and like the scene repeats, and like her patient changes into him or whatever. And he's like taking off in the car, and she's like trying to stop him, and he's like, nah, it's cool or whatever. And then he fucking drives off, and an 18-wheeler like runs over him out of nowhere. I always feel like in scenes where that happens, it's like something comedic, like you'd see it in like epic movie or some shit. Someone just gets run over out of nowhere, and then yeah, she like goes over to him and tries to save him, but he's already dead. And I didn't realize it the first time, but like where that little area takes place, it's in the in front of a Pepsi factory, which is where the third act ending takes place, which I didn't notice in the first time. But yeah, she's just like looking at all this shit go down, and she like puts her head between her legs. She just slumps down. She does that a couple times in the movie. And then yeah, there's a scene of Sims. He's like got this like back computer set up, and he's got a girl in the chair. It lends credence to my theory that the director is a fan of the Birds of Prey show, because the girl's like this redhead. She's kind of interesting looking. She's got like a long face, but they're like, he's talking about how like these girls have haunted my memories. Or what does he say? Oh yeah, because with the password that he got from that NSA chick, he can like use their spying technology, and like just based off of description, they have like the fucking accurate pictures of the girls. And she's like, oh, they're just teenagers. And the girl in the chair like sees that the girls are teens, and she's like tries to be shocked and like, oh, should I do this? He's like, they're teens now, but in the future they will have powers. there's a weird scene where like Madam Web's like trying to recover from the trauma in her room or in her house, and like a fucking bird hits the window, and then she like it repeats, and then she opens it, and then it actually like comes in, and Ben like tries to call her, like trying to see how she's doing. It's funny because on the voicemail he's like, "It's me," and then he says, "It's Ben." She doesn't know who the fuck it is. And yeah, I forget how, but like all the characters like converge, all the girls at this like train station. And like Madam Web gets on the train and she like freaks out. She like stares at this old lady. This black guy that keeps saying like, New York's crazy these days. And she notices all three of the girls get onto the train. And she has a vision of Ezekiel like coming and like killing them all. Basically like chokes them all out. What's weird because like the old lady like fucking screams at it. She's like creepy looking. And then she looks at her and she's like, "Are you alright, dear?" And so she thinks she's going crazy. The Ezekiel suit, like, I don't know, the colors makes me think of Kick-Ass, but like I guess it looks okay. He's kind of a decent villain. He's basically just an evil Spider-Man. So it's kind of cool to see. It's kind of cool to see how like Spider-Man would just kill regular people and shit. You choke slam them basically. But yeah, so she basically like sees the future and gets them to escape. And she like steals a taxi and she like they all get in there and she like fucking yells at them. And all the girls are like they basically like show what their characters are, like Julia. I don't know why they changed her name from Carpenter to Cornwallis. She's like fucking quiet and like overly apologetic all the time. Fucking annoying. I've never seen Euphoria, so I don't know. I didn't really know what Sydney Sweeney looked like until after the movie. But I was like, man, they made her look really ugly in this movie. I thought I would like her because of the glasses, but in real life, she's actually pretty hot, I guess. And then Anya Corazon, she's like the quiet, mysterious one. She's pretty cute. Cute Latina. And the black girl, like I said, to be fair, Maddie sounds like a black girl's name. And yeah, like, her character's fucked up because, like, it's like, why is she so unlikable? Why does everything she does, like, lead to the team getting chased down or fucked up or whatever? You know, that kind of makes sense because, like, in the comics, she was, like, she got date raped and, like, pimped out by some villain and shit. And she's, like, a troubled teen with, like, a single dad or whatever. They kind of do that in the movie where, like, she explains how, like, her parents are in China or some shit. Nobody has any parents around because the one girl's stepdad and little brother hate her. And later on you find out why Anya's alone, but But yeah, it's funny because Madam Web's in the front. And she's like, "Would y'all just stop talking? You're like, your brains are like drilling into my skull." She's like speaking for the audience. But yeah, she basically like leaves them in the forest and like she has to go hunt for clues. And yeah, when they're in the forest, they all kind of realize that they're like interconnected. And then they all turn to the black girl to like show how she's connected. And she's like, I don't know her. But Madam Web's like, no, you flipped me off. There's one kind of funny line where they're like, isn't it weird that we're all connected? And the black girl's like, that's literally the least. Or no, there's one funny line where they're like, isn't it weird that we're all connected? And Madam Web's like, literally the least weird thing that's happened today. I thought it was a funny line. And she basically like, yeah, just leaves them there. And she's like, don't be dumb. Don't do anything dumb. And she's on the run. She has to like break into her own apartment. And she like talks to her cat and shit. And she looks at the research and she's reading about the Arañas people. And it like says how like they can climb on walls and shit like Ezekiel was doing. And she like tries to fucking jump on the wall, but it's like a really lame half-hearted attempt and she like slumps down. At that point I was thinking like they should have had maybe a funnier actress like Aubrey Plaza or something have this part. And then it cuts back to the girls in the woods and like the black girl's fucking eating everyone's food and like she bullies Julia for having a teddy bear and shit. She's like the most unlikable person. And they all like talk to each other about how they're alone and shit. And so she's fucking hungry, so they would like want to leave the woods and go find a diner. And yeah, the once they're in the diner, then she's like talking about how she wants some fucking pie, and the Hispanic girl's like, dude, chill on the food. And then the Julia's like trying to flirt with these guys or whatever in the corner. Oh, and I noticed there's that one song playing in the background. I'm a bitch, I'm a lover, I'm your child, I'm your brother. It was like feminist ass movie. But yeah, since they're on the run, like there's this like trucker in the corner like notices that those are the girls from like the reports or whatever, and he gets on the phone and snitches on them. And Ezekiel can like tap into the fucking police comms or whatever, so he like calls in to dispatch like he's an officer, and he's like 233 dispatch on scene at 4-star Niner en route, no need to send backup. And then yeah, Madam Web like goes to like the forest area where she left the girls, and she sees that they're gone, and she's still in the stolen taxi. It's got like a dent in the front, and she fucking took the plates off of it, but somehow nobody stopped her. But yeah, and then she like gets out of the car and she hears Britney Spears' Toxic playing on the radio, and it's like that's the song playing in the diner. And like they're all fucking dancing on the table and shit, and like the black girl like try to tie Julia's shirt so she looks sexier. And they're supposed to be laying low and shit. And that's when the dude snitched on her. And then yeah, she goes in there and she's like all pissed at the girls and shit. And Julia like, she's like so over dramatic. She's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Like she fucking got caught giving a blowjob or some shit. Her mom caught her or something. And but it's cool because like as she's like trying to walk out of the diner, and fucking Ezekiel comes in, and it's sick. He kind of throws her to the side, and like her neck like snaps on a chair, and then he like punches her in the back and shit. It's fucking brutal. And there's a part where like Madam Web tries to stab him. He like tossed the other girls around, and she tries to stab him, and he like takes the knife and like flips it around and fucking shanks her in the gut, and that like makes her like reverse time and go back to the Toxic song playing when she was standing in the forest. She's like, "Oh shit," and she has to drive there. She drives there this time, and it's cool because when she's driving to the diner, there's a fucking 18-wheeler with all these logs and shit in the back, and it's like, oh, that's like totally a Final Destination reference. So I think about that shit every time I see an 18-wheeler with logs behind it. It's like, fuck that, I'm not getting behind this guy. It was just a tease though. None of the logs fell off. And then yeah, this time Ezekiel comes into the diner and she just like runs his ass over and shit. And she like tells the girls to come on. She's like, "Hurry the fuck up." The one black girl's just like stopping to look at her skateboard that's broken in half. And then like Ezekiel like grabs Madam Web and starts to try and poison her and shit, but they get away. And it's funny because they're in it's like another taxi scene, and she's like, it's like the same shit. They're saying sorry, and she's like, "You guys are impulsive and entitled." She's like, "Yeah, I'm sorry." And she's like, "Yeah, you should be sorry." And then she's like, she fucking slams the little plastic door on them. And then she like, I guess she feels bad about it. She was too harsh. And then yeah, so they all go and hide in a hotel. I thought it was interesting. The wallpaper in the hotel room kind of looks like the carpet in The Shining. It's got like this weird design, but they basically like all explain to Madam Web why they can't like go anywhere. They're fucking stuck with her. And Anya tells everyone that she's a fucking illegal. Well, no, her dad's an illegal and he got deported. And she's like, "I'm not gonna get deported or go into foster care." But like, why would she get deported? She's American. And it's like, Madam Web has this lame part where she's like, "Well, foster care is not so bad." And the black girl's like, "Yeah, right." And she just like has egg on her face. She's like, "What the fuck are you talking about? Who wants to get adopted and shit?" And then yeah, in the night, basically Madam Web like astral projects, and she can talk to Ezekiel. And she's like, she basically figures out why he wants to kill them. And then yeah, the next day she wakes the girls up and she plays I think we're alone now. Fucking Tiffany. I have that on vinyl, dude. And she like teaches them CPR. And she's like trying to bond with them, and like the black girl doesn't want to high five her. She's too cool for that. And she basically explains to them. There's a lot of characters explaining the plot to each other. And she basically explains to the girls that how like her mom was doing this research and she saw a picture of Ezekiel and like and she doesn't know what to do, and like the Anya is like, you must go to Peru, like out of nowhere. She's like comes up with that. She's like, oh yeah, I guess so. So yeah, she has to fly up to Peru, and she leaves the girls with Uncle Ben. And there's this weird part where like it's hard to say, tell what he says, but he's like, yeah, they'll be safe because I'm staying with Mary. Or he says like, Uncle Ben's like, it's hard to tell what he says, but he's like, oh, I'm staying with Mary while, I guess he says Richard is out of town. I thought he was talking about like this secret fake girl that he met or whatever. But he's like, they won't find her. They won't find the girls there. But he's like uber like understanding and caring. Like, Madam Web's like, oh, I know you didn't ask for this, and he's like, yeah, well, you didn't ask for this, so you know, it's all about you. So yeah, she flies to Peru, and she's like, she's wearing fucking flannel around her waist, which looks weird. And she runs into the main Aranya dude from the beginning of the movie, and he's like, your mother was here doing research and shit. And she's like, why did she hate me so much? And he like explains to her that like Ezekiel took the spider and he was cursed. And he like shows her where she was born. And he like pushes her into the water, and she like fucking goes into the water dimension, and she like sees a vision of her mom, and she can like see her past, and she like basically explains why she was in the Amazon, because the girl had like some fucking weird ass, what is it called, Myelin Graves disease or some shit. And Madam Web's like narrating the whole thing. She's like, oh, that's why you went there. Oh, so you didn't hate me after all. Oh. She like pretends to cry, and she hugs her mom. And then when she gets out of the water, she's like, she's like talking to the main Aranya dude, and she's like, how can I fight him? I didn't get super strength powers or whatever. And he's like, your mind can put you in multiple places at once. And he says a stupid line. It's just the reverse of Uncle Ben shit. He's like, oh, he says, when you take responsibility, great power will come. And then, yeah, there's a scene of Zeke still looking for the girls. And he's like telling the girl in the chair, he's like, the girls, they will destroy me, as I will you if you do not find them. Then here's like another fucking shady feminist scene. So yeah, it cuts to like Mary's house, and all the girls are there, and they're watching. They're watching I Know What You Did Last Summer, because it's like a shot of Sarah Michelle Gellar screaming, but it's like a stock scream. It's like out of place. But yeah, all the girls are there, and they're like having a sleepover basically, and Uncle Ben's like having to clean up after them and shit. And he's like wearing this lame ass blue turtleneck, and then Mary comes from around the corner, and she's like wearing like her pajamas too, but she's also wearing blue. And it's like, what the fuck, dude? They're totally like, he's gotta be fucking her. He's like, you know, whipped or whatever. He's like, they're like wearing the same colors and shit. And she's like, either I peed on the floor or my water broke. And he's like, that's like 4 weeks early, and Richard's not here and shit. So they all have to take Mary to the fucking hospital. And like they all know they're supposed to be laying low, right? Like even the black girl has like her hoodie like zipped up, so she looks like Kenny and shit from South Park. But this fucking dumb bitch, dude, she sees like a TV, I guess, at a store when they're at a stoplight, and she like looks out and looks like right at a fucking camera, and Ezekiel's able to like ID her face from that shit. And I was like, this stupid ass character. But like I said, she's kind of a fuck up in the comics, so I guess it's accurate. Oh, and I don't know if I mentioned it earlier too, like she's also at one point, Martha, her aunt, is like fucking J. Jonah Jameson. So she like lives with them for a little while. Which could be cool. I could see like this girl having to like live with J.K. Simmons. And then yeah, Madam Web, she has like a vision of like Ezekiel attacking them while they're on their way to the hospital. And there's actually this really cool shot where like it's like the side of this building, and I think in the background it's like the Chrysler building lit up, but like Ezekiel like falls on the building in the foreground sideways, and he's like running on the building sideways towards the Chrysler building. And it's a really cool shot actually. But yeah, eventually like he like catches up to everyone, Ben, in the car, and he's like about to attack them, and then like Madam Web like, oh yeah, because she went to Mary's house and she saw that they weren't there, and that's how she had like the vision of them being attacked. And there just so happened to be an ambulance stopping by next door, so she like jacks it and she like takes it, and that's how she like runs over Ezekiel. She's like flying out of a building. It's a pretty cool shot. And then yeah, I guess he had like a bomb in his hand. He was gonna throw it at them, but like when he runs her over, or when she runs him over, it like explodes this other car, and she like picks up the girls and she's gonna take off in the ambulance, and like it could have been a cooler shot. It kind of reminded me of Terminator, where in the first one where he comes out of the fire, and like there's a shot of Ezekiel like coming out of the fire, and he walks past Adam Scott, and he's just like, "What the fuck?" He's just looking at him, and yeah, he's like hopping on cars trying to catch up to them. So yeah, he's like chasing the ambulance, and their plan is for like Madam Web tells Anya to like go in the back and charge up the defib unit from Left 4 Dead 2. And she like charges it up, and she like puts it on the roof, or taps it against the roof right when like Ezekiel jumps on it, and it shocks him. And she like fucking swerves the car, and he like flies off and shit. The black girl's like, "Oh, now you're showing off." She's like, "Yeah, I guess so." And so yeah, the ambulance like just breaks down in this fucking dark, shady alley or whatever, and it's like it's the same area where the Pepsi factory was, because she looks up and sees it, and she has like a vision of the whole ending of the movie. Basically, they have to go into this Pepsi factory that has fireworks in it for some reason. And as they're going in there, like all the girls are like, "Oh, we'll be good. We'll listen to you this time. We won't fuck up." And so yeah, she has them like set off all these crates of fireworks, and Ezekiel comes in and he's like stalking them and shit. It kind of looks cool, dude. It's like Batman, and all the fireworks go off, and he's like hopping on these crates, chasing them. Visually, I mean, the fireworks look kind of cool. I mean, that doesn't really make sense. And they like have to go upstairs. Oh yeah, because Madam Web had like called dispatch and like called for a helicopter. So they gotta like go upstairs to get on it. And like when they're on the roof, she's like using her powers to like save their lives. Like she can see like the floor exploding and shit, and she like stops them before like all these like shards of metal hit them. And she takes one piece and uses it like a shield and shit. It's like fucking Wonder Woman guarding them from shrapnel. And then yeah, eventually like Zeke catches up to them on the roof, and he's like, "You can't protect them," and he like tries to jump on her, and fucking Maddie like uses a piece of metal and like slides slides down on the side of the sign, or the big Pepsi sign or whatever, and he just like fucking throws her to the side. And then Anya Corazon throws like, she tries to throw like a piece of metal at him, and he just grabs it and throws it back at her, and she dodges it, but it like makes her fall in this hole, and she's like grabbing onto it. And then Julia like just tries to run at him, and he like it's hard to tell what he does. I think he like choke slams her onto the fucking metal, and she's like hanging on, and he's like, "You can't save all three of them. They're all like about to die. They're hanging on for their lives and shit." And then at that point, like it like unlocks her powers, and she can like she has like these ghost projections of herself attached to webs, and she like saves all three of them and shit. So yeah, the girls are saved, and the fucking building's like exploding more, and he like chases Madam Web up on the scaffold and shit, and he's like, "You can't beat me with your mind," and she's just like, "How do you know?" And she sees like a vision of like a piece of metal like about to hit this spot in a second. And he's like, "You're just like your mother." And she's like, "Yeah, I am." And then she falls over, and then like I guess he's about to get on top of her, and like the piece of metal like hits him and like traps him against the scaffold so he can't move. And she's like, "The girls, they were never your future. I was." And she sees like the vision of the sign, and he like falls down. I guess the scaffolding like breaks off, and he falls on the ground, and then the sign like falls on him after that. And then like Madam Web falls in the ocean, and she's like looking up at the she's looking up at the water, and like a firework comes and like hits her in the eyes, and that's how she gets blinded and shit. And Julia, like, she's the one that saves her, which I thought was surprising, because she's like in there pretty deep. And yeah, they pull Madam Web out, and they all like take turns doing CPR on her and shit that they learned earlier. So it cuts to the hospital, and this is actually a pretty cool part. I didn't notice it the first time I watched it, but there's a scene where like Peter's born, right? And of course Ben's like the one that's next to her, and he's like, "Oh, he's perfect." And it's like an overhead shot of the two of them looking at the baby, right? And then it racks focus to like the wind. It's like a from outside of the window, and then it like focuses to the curtain in the foreground, and it's like the curtain is like white with like holes in it, and it looks like webbing, which is pretty cool. I thought that was a nice touch. Props to the director for that. And then yeah, in the other room it shows Madam Web, and she's got like these big ass bandages on her eyes, which kind of foreshadow her glasses later. And yeah, this is an infamous line where like Julia's saying how like, "Oh, Ben's loving being an uncle, all the fun and none of the responsibility," and she's like, "That's what he thinks." And people are like upset because like she's kind of being, I guess she's like kind of being like lighthearted about it, when what she's implying is like Mary's gonna fucking die and he's gonna have to take care of Peter. Although maybe it could like lend credence to the thought that like that's what he thinks. It's really his baby because they're fucking on the side or whatever. But in a way, I could see it her being like almost lighthearted about it because she's like a fucking interdimensional being at that point. So she like, I don't know, maybe wouldn't see people the way she used to. And then yeah, nurse comes in and she's like, "Are you all immediate family or whatever?" And Madame Web says like, "Yes, they're all mine." And then after that, there's another cool shot I liked. It's like from behind Madame Web's in like a chair and she's looking out at a window. And it's like the window has like this like kind of wood inlay or whatever. It kind of looks like a clock tower. It's like, dude, this fucking like Birds of Prey show, TV show. And like this whole scene is basically like something out of that show, because it's like all them in this apartment, and even the layout of the apartment kind of looks like the Birds of Prey show. And they're all just like, the black girl's like hungry again. It's like a running joke. But yeah, I just think it's cool how like she's in a wheelchair like Oracle and shit. But yeah, all the girls are like just chilling and interacting, and I think Anya like asked Madame Web, "How's your eyesight?" And she's like, "I can see better than I ever have." It's just like kind of weird the way she delivers her lines, but she's delivering it in a way that like she's changed, you know. Now she can see other dimensions and shit. And she's like, "Can you see us?" And she's like, "Yes, I see you in the future using your powers for good," or whatever. And it cuts to like scenes of them in their costumes finally. And it's cool because it shows like it shows Anya, and like her costume is like the least accurate except for like the goggles. But she has like these green bola things, I think. And she like throws it at some kind of enemy you can't see, and he like grabs it, and then she's like trying to pull it back or whatever. And then it's just a lame shot of Maddie like yelling into the camera or whatever. It's lame. And then the coolest one is like this dude is like a robber, I guess, and he's getting shot with the fucking psi webs, and you see like Spider-Woman like come down from the ceiling, like flip over, and she looks pretty cool, dude. She got the ballistics out, and like I said, the costume is pretty awesome. I just wish it had like the white in the eyes or whatever. And then yeah, like I said, she's like, "You're using your powers for justice. Nothing I didn't already know." And then it cuts back to the present, and she's got these stupid glasses on. I forgot to say. But yeah, she turns around and looks back out, looking like Oracle and shit. And she's like, she says, "Whatever the future holds, we'll be ready." And it shows like a shot of them like all together in their outfits. And it's cool because like there's a shot of like a spider like crawling through Madame Web's fingertips. She has like these red gloves on. And she has this weird line though where it's like the final line is like the best thing about the future hasn't been written yet. It's like, what? It won't be written because there's not going to be a fucking sequel, I don't think. But yeah, it shows like her, Madame Web, finally in her full gear. And like it looks pretty cool, dude. It looks like it does in the game, where it's like just that dark red, but she's got like a black spider, I think, on her chest, kind of. And but my favorite part is the big ass Bret Hart glasses. It's sick. But I mean, I would totally be down for like her to like be in a movie with Venom or a new Spider-Man or whatever. Fight Morbius and Craven, whatever the fuck. But yeah, I think it's like I said, not unfairly trashed, but there's also a lot of accurate stuff, surprisingly. And like, you never actually see the girls get their powers, so it's all like left to your imagination. So it could be the actual way they do it in the comics. Like Julia, she fucking gets tricked by a college friend to like get experimented on. That's how she gets her powers. Maddie gets it through her dad somehow. Because her dad gets a phone call from Norman Osborn. And she like shows up to some gathering of the Five or some bullshit. She gets her powers that way. And then Anya, oh yeah, she's like caught in a gang warfare between the Order of the Wasp or some shit and like the Spider League or Spider Legion or some shit. And it says in the wiki that she gets her life is saved by a mage, a Mexican mage. So like, okay, that's interesting. But yeah, so far Craven and Venom 3 are next. So I wonder if they're actually ever going to build up to like having these characters interact with Spider-Man. I give all these movies a pass, if that, as long as that happens at some point. Otherwise, yeah, it's just kind of pointless.